Audio is peaked. Okay. Click all the buttons to make it on peak now.
Alrighty.
All right. Welcome to the BnG Supercast.
I feel super welcome.
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So tell us, what kind of adventure are we going on today, Gabe?
I'm glad you asked, Ben. Koopas, Goombas, and T-Rexes.
Oh boy.
We're going to talk about...
We've never seen a battlefield like this before.
Super Mario is here. It's this Super Mario Odyssey commentary.
That was great. Okay. Well, Gabe.
Yeah.
This is the maiden voyage of a podcast that has not really been fleshed out. But the thing is, we're just here. We're having a good time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're just talking about things that matter to us, about life events, about our passions and pleasures.
Yeah. Passions and pleasures.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not here to talk about work. Not here to talk about anything.
I mean, if we do talk about work, it's not the end of the world.
Nope. This personal cast will not involve anything else except birds. Dang. I just noticed the birds. Are the birds going to be a problem?
I mean,
no, it'll be fine.
The only problem that I've had is they eat all my grass seed. I put out all that grass seed out to try to patch my lawn.
I was there.
They ate all of it.
They did?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
All of it.
That's annoying. Was it the shady or was it the sun stuff?
It was all of it. They ate all of it.
Oh.
They didn't care what kind of seed it was. They just ate it all.
I was going to say, what kind of seed was it? But
it's seed that's now in their belly. Is what it is.
It reminds me of when I used to work at John Hall Hardware.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember that was one of the things I noticed is they were like, we sell 3 different kinds of grass seed. We sell
Kentucky bluegrass.
Yeah, they sell the blue kind, the kind that grows in shade, and the kind that grows in direct sunlight.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And they're like, and we also have this other kind that grows in both. And I'm like, why don't people just buy that?
Yeah. Well, it seems like the more specialized you have your grass, the better it does, apparently. But
I guess that makes sense.
I don't know. It doesn't do any good though if the birds eat it all, right?
That's true.
Anyway, so I wanted to talk. The whole reason, I think we talked about doing this was just because, and I'm gonna turn this down a little bit now. We talked about doing this, I think, just because everyone and their mom has a podcast, right? And honestly, it can be a little bit of a drag sometimes when you're listening to people and it's just like they're really not talking about anything.
Ben, let's not big drags into this. We're not marketing to them.
Listen, we ain't about that woke agenda. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I wanted to basically bring a podcast that was somewhat relevant to, I'd say, people our age, people of all age groups, but basically just talking about
people of all stars,
all skin colors, all ethnicities. The watermelon eaters, the Asians.
The watermelon eaters. You cannot keep that. Ben, that will get us flagged.
We got the rice eaters. We got
the bean eaters. I call them bean gulpers.
We got the South. The South will rise again. No, I'm just joking. But
yeah, sure. Sure you are. You bigot.
Yeah. But basically just talking about real stuff, hopefully to not only bring entertainment, comedy, that sort of thing, but also things that matter, conversations that matter. We talked to our grandparents. When was that? Last week? And we had a really good conversation about.
It was interesting. It was a little tense, honestly.
Was it?
Whenever I talk about that kind of stuff, I get like this subconscious sort of feeling of like tension.
Well, for sure, because anytime you have a conflicting opinion, there's going to be tension, right?
We were talking about politics.
Basically, just like about how, sort of like the white guilt thing, right? Where it's like, we need to acknowledge that, our ancestors did horrible things, and the thing, I walked away from it feeling like, it was good that we were at least able to talk about it. It feels like a lot of times people have lost the art of having a conversation almost, right? That's respectful.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's so emotionally charged. And I think because the ease of access, so I'm gonna solve hatred. You ready?
Okay.
So overexposure of information leads people to think that they know more than they actually do. And then they take that preconception out into the actual real world and people immediately around them. And they foist those notions that they've gotten from fake experience, basically.
Yeah, I agree.
With people around
It's
them.
almost like, and the thing is people are dwelling in such a virtual environment these days that if, like, for example, when you go into the internet, you're essentially hanging out in someone else's living room these are talking heads of opinions, facts, all this sort of thing. So you're hanging out in these like virtual environments that might or might not reflect the real world, right?
Yeah. Well,
Like-
it's all, at least a lot of it is just opinion.
Yeah.
You know? And like, the thing is, like, like it's not a meeting with someone who lives next door, who shares the neighborhood with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even necessarily someone who lives in the same town or city as you. So there's a disconnect of values. Like
Why don't you move the mic a little bit closer to your your face?
because I'm politely turning toward you.
Yeah.
And so I'm impolitely turning away from
just face the
you, the audience.
face the technology.
Yeah. Shut up, Gabe.
We need to block your face as much as
Yeah, I was gonna
possible.
say,
We have,
like,
this giant
I
pop
noticed that
protector.
like this mic is like the camera can't even see my face.
Yeah, we'll,
see the
we'll
goods.
definitely have to fix the camera part.
Yeah, this very elaborate.
We might just
setup.
go audio on the first one, maybe.
But yeah.
But going back to that though, like, you know, people being in these virtual environments, like, have you seen that a lot in your life? Like, have there been people that you've kind of wondered, oh, why are you acting like this, or sort of?
Yeah.
Do you have examples?
I have one. I think the way that my brain works, I think, is I latch onto one experience in for categories, and then I only remember that
You kind
experience.
of label that whole thing as
Right.
like, this is what it is.
It's kind of like the main one, and the rest are kind of like soft memories that I kind of remember. But I remember this time in college. Oh man, just thinking about it makes me cringe. I hate it. I hate watching cringe, by the way. I don't know why people do it. I get like secondhand embarrassment. So much.
It's tasting something very sour.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's what's called cringe. You're like,
yeah,
"Ugh."
exactly. It makes you cringe. You know?
But so this was in college, and this was one of the guys. I was sitting with one of these guys from my dorm at the lunch table, and we share the same floor. And there's kind of like the way that dorms are grouped is usually by floors. And like there's camaraderie between each floor, but then there's also like a bigger overarching relationship between actual buildings. So our building was Samuel Morris. So I was sitting with one of these guys from my floor, you know, so generally people in your floor, you're pretty close with. And I'd only kind of like talk to him every now and then offhandedly, but we just happened to be the two people at the table sitting down for food. And I'm always the last person at the table because I eat slowly. That's something to do with my digestion.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I remember like there was like two other guys there at the table who were like kind of keeping a conversation up. And as an introverted guy, I'm like just sort of listening.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of their guys walks away, and then the other one walks away because they're roommates. They kind of do stuff together. Super cute. And so I'm just there with this guy, and I don't really know what to say when I'm alone with people sometimes. I just kind of
just like, hey,
Yeah.
you like vegetables?
yeah, I'm like, hey, about that honeydew.
Yeah.
Sucks, doesn't it? Man, I hate this school. No, it was no. I just started asking him how his day was. Very generic stuff, because this was a guy who I never feel like I really got a good read on him. Like I feel like I'm generally pretty good at it. You know, it's a skill I've honed.
Being perceptive, basically.
Yeah, but this guy was kind of like, he seemed like a weird blank slate in some ways.
Hmm.
And so I start talking to him just to see like how his day's going, just to sort of, like break the silence. It was so weird. I say, Jason, so how's class today? How you doing? And he looks at me and he says, forget. It was a quote. It was a quote from a video.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Like he would just like out of the gate.
Out of the gate.
Oh, that's right.
You ever heard
I remember you telling me about this.
You ever heard of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared?
No.
Okay.
Should I play it?
No.
Okay. Why? It's freaky or what?
It's kind of. Yeah. It's just, looking back, like, it's the kind of video that you're like, oh, I've heard about this. I'm going to watch it. And then you watch one or you watch half one. You're like, oh, now I see what people talk about.
Is it disturbing?
Yes. It's like, so it's like,
I got to pull it up.
People,
Sorry.
It's okay. But
I'm just to look and see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's called Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. But continue on your story though.
Well, I mean, that wasn't much story. Basically, that just kept happening over and over.
He would just respond with
quotes and
clips.
memes.
Wow.
And I was just like, hey man, I'm actually like trying to talk to you. Can you say something besides a quote? I literally like basically said that.
That's crazy.
And he still just kept saying that. And I'm just like, what the heck? But the thing is, he didn't normally do that. I don't know if he was uncomfortable around me or if he just felt awkward, but it was just like, like.
It sounds like he was like autistic almost.
The thing is, he didn't act that way much. Like he had social skills.
Is this it?
That's one episode.
Yikes.
Yeah. It's supposed to be like it's supposed to have like a goofy / disturbing aspect to it.
Sure. I love how there's a ad here that says gay test.
And that's what you get.
Good luck passing this 6-question test.
This 6-question test will
question mark?
will determine your life. Oh, this is a hold on. Oh yeah, okay, this is the one. Okay.
Creative. I just tried to think creatively. Now when you look at this orange,
This is like brain cancer, dude.
It combines catchy music with that like charming puppet animation.
Wait, why is this disturbing though?
Just keep going. It's like it just starts putting in stuff that's like kind of off, and then it gets and then it does that at the end.
Disturbing.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, it mixes, and that's demonic. When whenever you have, basically like children's things mixed with like blood and that's just straight, dude.
Well, because it's like that stuff is it markets itself as for like appropriate, or whatever, or like, oh, this is your kids can watch.
Well,
this.
And the crazy thing is, I wonder if it's monetized, like on YouTube. That's the thing. YouTube will literally demonetize someone like Matt Walsh, who's like talking about, we like one of the names we had was Topics of Today, and this super woke agenda,
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, but videos like that are like disturbing and harmful to children and will stay, and it's such a marker of the times we're living in.
Well, so. It's also like, I think it's a combination of people being corrupt and people being idiots.
Yeah.
It's a mix of both of those things.
Stupidity is contagious.
Yeah. Yeah, there's different kinds.
It's so hard too, because like when someone feels that what they're doing is right, it's like you could make the argument that like the thing of like subjective truth, where people talk about
my truth versus your truth.
Exactly. And so in an age of like relativism, it's like, yeah.
Well, I mean, here's the thing is like, I get really discouraged It's
talking
easy,
about that stuff.
Yeah, and it's really.
I think most people do.
Yeah, it's really easy for me to get depressed about that stuff, and because the thing is, like, a part of me just really wants to talk with people just in general about it, like people on the other side, or people who are like, well, actually, I have this more nuanced view, like real people, like because we are people, and we all have those views. It's just you because you see that, and oftentimes you don't actually see the people who either agree with it or who don't agree with it. You don't get discourse.
That's true.
And I think people are so hesitant to bring it up and talk about it.
And oftentimes when you have someone who's inflammatory, which is often a symptom, it's a symptom of lots of people, but it's basically where someone throws like a temper tantrum. It starts screaming. It's basically like that.
For what?
Like when basically a differing opinion is voiced. Like if you look at some of the videos where like basically like conservative rallies and whatnot, like there will be people screaming in the audience, like screaming fascist, like when it's like, wow, do you know what a fascist is? It's someone who tries to control other people to get them to shut up, basically. And it's a totalitarian strategy to say, so tolerant unless you voice an opinion that's different than mine. You know what I mean? And true freedom looks like everyone is able to voice their opinion, but there are certain laws in place so that we don't do.
The thing is, like,
things, right?
Yeah, and I think one of the big misconceptions about any side, any one, I really want to say, any group of people who identify themselves based on like politics or beliefs, is that they agree about everything.
The two sides do, or the group
no. Like the people in a group, like, oh, all conservatives are the same, all Democrats are the same, all liberals are the same. And the thing is, like,
it's a very divisive view.
It's very divisive, and it actually, it further actually tries to solidify that homogenizedness of one side and then
basically
of the other
saying,
side.
Listen, there's just two polar choices.
Yeah. Either you're for us or against us, and it's like, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: is like, for example, Maynard, our grandpa. There are plenty of things I do agree with him about, but that doesn't mean that I agree with him about everything.
Yeah.
Oh no, that like the last time we visited, that was a perfect example. But we disagreed. We still respected each other.
Yep.
But we respectfully disagreed. I agree to disagree.
Yeah. And I think, and truth be told, it's like everyone's on a journey, and I just had a conversation with a close friend last night, about how just, basically everyone's on a journey. That being said, like we talk about some of these topics and it might feel like, oh, this is it is depressing. And it is, because we're acknowledging the darkness, but at the same time, for me, I feel like it's a motivator to say, well, what can we do?
Yeah, that, and that's where it gets depressing for me, is because oftentimes I've heard messages, but no like tangible call to action.
Yeah,
people will say, "Oh, we have to stand up against this," and I'm like, "How?"
Yeah,
it's like,
just do it.
Give us your money. Yeah,
Donate to my
GoFundMe.
Yeah. Well, and it's why it's important too. It's like, there's like a lot of ways which you could look at that, but I'd say the biggest one being just like, the Bible says it's like, we don't war against flesh and blood, principalities and powers,
Yeah, but we are made of flesh and blood, aren't we?
Totally. Yeah, in part, yeah. It's like we're spiritual beings clothed in flesh, And so what does it look like to do battle against forces of darkness? What does that look like? That's a question worth asking, I think. Because for some,
I don't know.
For some, they think, we can do all these things in the natural, which is true in part. You can't say it like Jesus said, like, if someone is hungry and needs a place to stay,
Yeah.
and you tell them, go on your way, be warmed and filled,
Yeah.
but you don't give them any food or shelter,
Yeah.
it's not worth anything.
Yeah.
You know? But we do things in the natural, and then we follow that too with things in the supernatural, right? The kingdom of God.
Yeah, the thing is like, yeah, that's also kind of like a spot for me that like is difficult because, yeah, like the whole like service in the church, you know, like, or I should say like fighting the good fight. No, like fighting the good fight. Like what is your fight, you know? And like that is a question that still kind of haunts me.
Haunts you personally?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's
you feel like you're not doing enough?
Yeah, you know?
Well, it's not a performance thing.
I
right?
know. I know. The thing is like people say you are saved by faith alone.
Yeah.
By grace you have been saved through faith.
Well,
not by works so that
totally.
none can boast.
Well, it's this. It's that once the Lord makes the tree good, the tree can't help but produce the fruit.
Right. And they say faith without works is dead. Right.
Right.
And so it makes me wonder, like, am I working? Are my works there? You know?
Absolutely. But it's not from a striving, it's from an abiding.
See, like, now you're going back to abstract terms that are kind of hard.
Well, so like say he's made us the good tree, right? Because he has. Once we confess him, once we're born again, like he has made us the good tree. You know, so what happens is when we abide is like it's like the light that shines on us that goes into the leaves. The leaves turn that into energy and produce fruit. So if you might ask yourself, like,
so plant roots.
Well, the roots go deep, right? Or they should.
The trees are strong.
The trees are strong.
The roots go deep.
Rip them all down. No, yeah, I get what you're saying. It, like, I kind of, I like to push a little bit when I hear like more, not highfalutin, but like ideas that are a little bit out there, you know? Because I understand
that are
them.
Intangible, maybe.
Yeah, I understand them cognitively, but practically, it's hard often for me to make the connection. You know? It's like, what does that look like?
Yeah,
you know.
Well, like, and the promise for me that I've really been grabbing hold of is like when it says like seek first the kingdom. What is the kingdom? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, self-control.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and even like the things he was teaching, you know, like the Beatitudes.
Is it the Beatitudes or the Beatitudes?
I like Beatitudes.
I like Beatitudes
Dwight
too.
Schrute would approve.
Yeah. The Beatitudes.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were the Beatitudes again?
Well, just like, blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. This is the kingdom, you know, like.
It was an encouragement to the infant church.
Yeah.
Infant people of the church.
To every person to say, this is the way, walk in it, you know? And if we really look hard, you know, we'll see that, right? So
that's the hope.
Yeah. Should we take a break? Go to a quick break?
No.
Okay.
I'm just repositioning.
Okay.
I'm changing my stance.
Spread the leg.
Ben.
What? I'm just saying, you're going to spread.
It's a casual podcast. Casual.
Too casual. Pull your pants up.
Ben, they can't see. They can only hear. You don't have to say what you're doing. Okay, why are your pants off?
It's like The Office when Jim is recording. Do you ever see that?
No.
Take off your pants.
And he's like, Dwight, what are you doing?
Dwight, you know what? Just back
I'm not
up.
doing
Okay, that's
anything.
making me uncomfortable. This is sexual harassment, by the way. Oh my God. He's got a knife. I do
So,
not have a knife. No, let the record
The Office.
Yeah.
Pop culture. So what have you been doing lately?
That was a smooth transition.
Like I wanted to ask I wanted to ask what shows you watch.
What have you been doing lately?
Shut up. I wanted to ask about like what like shows you've been watching lately, but that just seems like such a consumer question.
Oh yeah.
Shallow.
It's grade F.
Grade F material.
No.
I am curious actually
Shows?
if it's worth talking about.
These days I don't really watch too many shows. For me, sometimes I'll go down the YouTube rabbit hole, which can be sometimes good, usually depressing.
Yeah, I get you.
But especially because YouTube rewards inflammatory content, divisive content, because it's like more comments,
Yeah. Well, that you would think it's funny. You would think they would reward stuff that covers both sides of the of a given spectrum, right? It's like we have right-wing content, we have left-wing content, like politically even. But no, they'll because you think that would get them more views. Here's the thing. They aren't just a good business, because a good business wouldn't do a lot of the things they do.
Well, if everything is motivated purely by $1, it can never really be good, because the dollar represents value, and human nature. We've seen human nature. We just watched a video earlier about like sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Children, and it's like someone is paying money, the equivalency of value, to have sex with underage girls. Prostitute girls. So it's like if you run a business that's just purely
Depressed cast.
yeah super depressing
Doomscast.
well, it's not like that. I'm just saying it's like, yeah, of course it's gonna be depraved,
I get you. And to be fair, there's some pretty fun stuff there too, though.
There is, totally. There's good stuff there.
Like Fire Emblem mods.
I haven't seen that.
Dude, you haven't seen... Didn't you play the Fire Emblem emulators?
No.
Oh, I mean, I don't use emulators.
I was never cool like you.
I don't use that. That's illegal.
Yeah.
Actually, technically, it's not illegal to use. It's illegal to make. Whatever.
Technicalities.
So anyway, on the legit console I was using to play Fire Emblem, the old
on my
ones.
authorized copy of Fire Emblem.
Oh man, like Fire Emblem games are like strategy games, like turn-based strategy games.
Is it Game Boy or what is it?
Yeah, like the first one I played was Game Boy Advance. It was I want to say 7th.
GBA.
Yeah, Game Boy Advance. I want to say it was the 7th one in the Fire Emblem series. Binding Blade. No, Blazing Blade. Very different. But no, it was Binding. Wait, I can't remember. Shoot. Anyway,
it's very important.
Very important. No, but I've just been watching that stuff lately, and it's just so cool that like the amount of like content people make, like fans.
Yeah.
Like make for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we were talking about indie stuff.
Yeah.
And I love indie stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, you should maybe we could post links to some of I love some of your stop motion stuff.
Playlist. Hot take playlist.
Suggested content.
We've gotten.
Suggestive content. No,
suggested.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's like where you. Oh,
Yeah.
there's a link.
There's a link.
there.
There's a link. That's how we get our start. We just suggest all the good content.
Yeah.
We're curators, Ben. Curators.
Boutique.
Puts the monocle on. Huzzah! 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 Huzzah!
Daniel Thrasher.
Yeah. I actually, Josh showed me Daniel Thrasher for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I know who he was before that.
He reminds me of you.
Really?
Yes. Like I feel like you guys could be good friends.
Does a sprig in the nest? I don't remember what he says.
I don't know.
Oh, thank you. I think he's a handsome fellow, so thank you.
Man.
And talented.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Fasha.
You remind me of...
Don't say Gus Johnson, please.
Not Gus Johnson. I was gonna say like a more attractive Gus Johnson.
Were you really gonna say that?
I was.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Dude.
You have like the same like
same energy.
you have the same set of features, It's just like
baldness.
no, okay.
Round face.
No. Like the blue eyes, like the beard.
White dragon.
White dragon, yeah. Pale, greasy.
Really scummy.
Yeah.
Scummy looking.
No. Like I think
Shout out to Gus Johnson. He's actually cool though.
yeah, he is pretty cool. Go watch his olive oil video.
His olive oil. Oh my gosh, dude.
It's kind of weird.
Classic. Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
I like his Yu-Gi-Oh card one. That was actually my favorite.
Oh, dude, where he has the names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got this one that's just
Dude,
like
here.
meatloaf in a parking lot.
We gotta pull that up real quick. We should probably end it somewhat soon. We're coming up on 30 minutes, but
Okay.
let me pull up Gus
Rachel
Johnson.
Ray's 30-minute meals. We're just reference machines, guys. Just references. Do you have any references? Millennials be like,
The printer's closed in 10 minutes.
yeah. Turn it up. It's muted.
Mediation session on what we're going to put on the Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So what do you guys got?
All right, yeah, sure. So I actually came up with this idea for a pretty cool dragon-like thing I'm trying to do. It's a metal dragon, and it actually breathes fire. So I think it'll be pretty cool, pretty powerful.
Okay, sounds like a cool thing to put on a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Let me just take it from here. I've got a better idea for you.
Okay, what do you got?
Pretty much I thought if you had just a bunch of birds flying in, and they were pointed in an arrow shape, and they were flying towards a piece of pie, and the whole energy of this card was like, those birds are gonna fly right into the pie. How about that?
Okay, well, what else you got?
These are based
I
on
got
real
a
cards.
pretty good idea.
Yeah.
What if we had every kind of bee on the card? I'm talking bumblebees,
Kinda like
the
the
letter B, Aunt Bee from Andy Griffith's show. Just every bee we could assemble.
Okay, still, I don't understand the power of that card, the point of it really.
It would be like
bee
it would be
card?
a bee type.
I like your dragon idea.
Oh, yeah, sure. I've actually been working on this one.
I've actually got a
smart
couple
guy.
cooler ideas than the
Okay.
dragon one. What if we had a big old slab of meatloaf smothered in Texas gravy, and it was just sitting in an abandoned Walmart parking lot?
This isn't really what I was going for.
Call it big old meatloaf in the Walmart parking lot.
This would be the name of that card. I see what you're going for. Not really going that direction though here. I like the
Boss, we're supposed to have thousands of ideas, and the printer's closed in 10 minutes.
How many ideas do you guys have?
Maybe like 10 or something.
Pretty much like 30,000.
All right, we're doing all of them.
$1. We're doing all of them.
Oh my gosh. Classic, dude. Classic.
Classic.
Well, bro, I think that's a good start.
Ended on a high note.
Yeah.
Gus Johnson.
Johnson.
More like Russ Bonson. Okay, end it with the. Well, thank you for joining us.
That was a pretty great podcast.
It's been lovely.
It's been super
Turn it down.
awesome. we're getting
Join
there.
us next time as Indiana Jones goes on his adventure.
Temple of Doom.
The Temple of Time.
The music just slowly gets louder.
And remember to subscribe. And don't forget to smash that like button.
And don't
Dude.
watch the Super Mario movie because
Don't
it's
watch the movie because it's not that great.
All right. Peace out.
A-Town.